At number 12, we have POH, the Prince of Hell, one of the most infamous player killers in Sword Art Online. Unlike many fighters on this list, POH's power isn't about overwhelming system skills or sacred weapons, but about sheer psychological control and ruthless tactics. In Aincrad, he built his reputation by forming Laughing Coffin, the most notorious murder guild in the game. His charisma and cruelty attracted equally twisted players, allowing him to lead coordinated PK raids that struck fear into the community. POH's greatest strength lies in his ability to manipulate others. He exploited fear, anger, and despair, using these emotions as weapons more effective than swords. In the Alicization War of Underworld arc, Poe's cunning allowed him to manipulate foreign players into joining his cause by twisting the truth, painting Kirito's allies as villains. Even without god-tier abilities, he controlled the battlefield through sheer numbers and psychological warfare. What makes POH incredible is that, unlike system-broken entities like Quinella or Kayaba, he relied entirely on human cruelty and strategy. His terrifying presence was enough to shift the balance of entire wars. While not the strongest in raw combat, his unmatched ability to exploit human weakness earns him a place among SAO's most dangerous. This is Emiverse Anime. Watch this video to the end and hit that subscribe button now. At number 11, we have Leafa, also known as Suguha Kirigaya, Kirito's cousin and adoptive sister. With a strong foundation in kendo from the real world, Suguha naturally adapted to virtual combat. In ALfheim Online, she shines as a sylph warrior, specializing in flight-based swordplay and wind magic. Her style isn't just about flashy techniques. It's about balance, precision, and tactical aerial maneuvers. Leafa's strength lies in her mobility. The sylph race in ALO excels at speed and flight, and Leafa takes this to the next level by combining it with her kendo training. She uses wind magic both offensively and defensively, launching razor-sharp gusts or boosting her agility mid-fight. This makes her unpredictable, able to outmaneuver slower opponents with ease. Her defining moments come when she assists Kirito in ALO battles, using her wind magic to tilt fights in their favor. While she can't match the sheer destructive power of top integrity knights, her adaptability and resilience in chaotic environments make her stand out. She embodies the role of a supportive yet dangerous ally who can hold her own against formidable foes. Leafa's placement here reflects her status as a skilled warrior who thrives in mobility-based combat. While she's not god-tier like the higher-ranked characters, her versatility, real-world discipline, and magical support cement her as one of the strongest players outside the system-breaking elites. Taking the 10th spot is Sinon, or Shino Asada, a fan favorite known for her unmatched sniping abilities and calm under pressure. In Gun Gale Online, she rose to the top as one of the game's deadliest players, wielding her iconic anti-material sniper rifle, HEC-AT-2. What makes Sinon extraordinary is not just her precision, but her composure in life-or-death moments born from her traumatic past and her determination to overcome it. Sinon's skill set translates seamlessly into other worlds. In Eugeo, her ability to hit impossible shots from extreme distances gave her an almost mythical reputation. She even rivaled Kirito in close combat when the situation demanded it, proving her versatility beyond sniping. Her true peak, however, comes in the Alicization arc, where she gains the incarnation of Solace, the sun goddess. With this divine power, she transcends traditional limits, firing devastating energy blasts capable of annihilating armies. In that moment, Sinon isn't just a sniper, she's a walking superweapon. Her combination of real-world trauma, mental fortitude, and in-game brilliance make her one of the most reliable fighters in SAO. While she doesn't quite reach the narrative-bending heights of Kirito or Quinella, Sinon's transformation from human sniper to divine warrior solidifies her place among the strongest. At number 9, we have Asuna Yuki, known throughout Aincrad as the Flash. Her signature rapier style combined blinding speed with deadly precision, making her one of the fastest duelists in Sword Art Online. But Asuna isn't just a fighter. She's a leader, strategist, and partner whose presence shaped the survival of countless players. As sub-commander of the Knights of the Blood Oath, Asuna earned the respect of her peers for her skill and discipline. She was often the difference maker in boss raids, her rapid thrusts overwhelming enemies before they could retaliate. Her leadership balanced Kirito's reckless heroics, grounding him when he needed it most. Her greatest feat comes with Mother's Rosario, an 11-hit combo originally belonging to Yuuki Konno. Asuna mastered it flawlessly, demonstrating both her skill and emotional strength by carrying on Yuki's legacy. This technique not only proved her raw combat ability, but also solidified her reputation as one of the fastest and most graceful swordswomen in SAO. While she doesn't wield reality-bending powers like Quinella or Kirito's system quirks, Asuna represents the pinnacle of what a dedicated player can achieve. Her combination of lightning speed, tactical awareness, and emotional resilience secure her spot in the top 10 strongest SAO characters. Ranked 8th is Yuuki Konno, a name that resonates with every Sword Art Online fan. Known as the Absolute Sword, Yuki's reputation came from her undefeated streak in duels, a feat unmatched by any other player in ALfheim Online. What makes Yuuki remarkable is that her strength was purely skill-based, with no system privileges or cheats backing her up. Yuki's defining ability was her original sword skill, Mother's Rosario, an 11-hit combo that few could withstand. Her flawless timing, relentless pressure, and fearless spirit overwhelmed even the most skilled opponents. She pushed Asuna, one of the fastest duelists in Aincrad, to her absolute limit in their iconic duel, showcasing just how extraordinary she truly was. What sets Yuuki apart is her resilience. In real life, she was battling a terminal illness, yet in the virtual world, she was a fearless leader of the Sleeping Knights. She inspired others with her courage, determination, and relentless fighting spirit. Even in the face of tragedy, Yuuki left behind a legacy that shaped Asuna and the SAO universe. Her placement above Asuna reflects her raw, unparalleled dueling skill. Yuuki didn't need system advantages to dominate. Her natural ability and heart made her one of the greatest fighters in SAO history. 7th place goes to Eugeo, Kirito's closest friend and ally in the Alicization arc. At first, Eugeo appears as an ordinary boy from Unrivaled village, but through perseverance and determination, he rises to become one of the most powerful swordsmen in the Underworld. His signature weapon, the Blue Rose Sword, grants him the ability to freeze vast areas, locking enemies in place and creating opportunities for decisive strikes. Eugeo's development is one of SAO's most compelling. From a woodcutter bound by rules, he grows into an Integrity Knight-level fighter capable of holding his own against Administrator's forces. His greatest feat was his final stand against Quinella, where he sacrificed himself to weaken her. This act not only displayed his strength, but also his unbreakable loyalty to Kirito and Alice. What makes Eugeo incredible is his growth curve. Unlike Kirito, who often received system privileges, Eugeo's strength was earned through discipline, courage, and self-discovery. He represents the potential of the Underworld's inhabitants to rise beyond their limitations. Eugeo's ranking above Yuuki and Asuna comes from the sheer destructive potential of his Blue Rose Sword, which could alter entire battlefields. His loyalty, power, and tragic sacrifice secure his place as one of the most powerful and unforgettable characters in SAO. At number 6, we have Alice Zuberg, one of the most powerful and respected Integrity Knights in the Underworld. From her childhood origins in Unrivaled village to her transformation into a golden armored knight, Alice's journey showcases her mastery of both swordsmanship and sacred arts. She combines elegance, strength, and tactical brilliance into a single warrior's package. Alice's skill with her golden sword, combined with her command of sacred arts, allows her to unleash devastating attacks that few can match. She demonstrated incredible resilience during the War of Underworld, where she fought against hordes of enemies and held her ground against administrator-level threats. Her courage and presence made her a rallying figure for allies. One of her most notable feats was standing shoulder to shoulder with Kirito and Eugeo in their battle against Quinella. She wasn't just a sidekick. She was a critical part of the fight, demonstrating strength equal to the series' main protagonist. Alice earns her place here because she represents the pinnacle of what an Integrity Knight can achieve. Her mastery of magic and blade, her battlefield leadership, and her unwavering resolve elevate her above most others. While she doesn't quite reach Kirito's plot-defying feats, Alice's combination of skill and bravery places her firmly among SAO's elite. Cracking into the top 5 is Bercouli Synthesis 1, the legendary commander of the Integrity Knights. Known for his calm wisdom and centuries of battle experience, Bercouli was a figure of inspiration and authority in the underworld. His most famous weapon was his time-manipulating sword, which allowed him to slice through enemies by striking in both the present and future. This unique ability made Bercouli nearly impossible to counter. His precision, foresight, and tactical mastery let him dominate battles that would have overwhelmed others. Even among integrity knights, he was revered as the strongest, a living legend whose reputation was unmatched. One of his greatest feats was his duel against Gabriel Miller during the War of Underworld. Despite the overwhelming power of Subtilizer, Bercouli fought with unmatched courage and strategic brilliance, proving why he was the knight commander. Even in death, his sacrifice inspired his allies to continue the fight. Bercouli's placement reflects his rare balance of experience, leadership, and broken abilities. He wasn't just a warrior. He was a commander whose very presence shifted the battlefield. His ability to manipulate time set him apart from ordinary fighters, placing him comfortably among the most powerful characters in the entire SAO franchise. At number 4 is Kirito, the Black Swordsman and the heart of Sword Art Online. From the earliest days of Aincrad, Kirito distinguished himself with his ability to adapt, survive, and eventually thrive in impossible situations. His unique skill, dual wielding, allowed him to use 2 swords simultaneously, unleashing devastating combos that no other player could replicate. Kirito's feats are legendary. He defeated the Gleam Eyes boss single-handedly, survived duels against top-tier players, and overcame Heathcliff, the game's final boss. In later arcs, he continued to demonstrate unmatched versatility, adapting his skills to ALfheim, Gun Gale, and the Underworld. His reflexes, instincts, and tactical brilliance consistently placed him a step ahead of his enemies. Perhaps his greatest strength, however, is his unyielding will. Time and again, Kirito pushes beyond his limits to protect his friends, breaking through system boundaries with sheer determination. From activating Starburst Stream to defeating Administrator-class threats, Kirito embodies the archetype of a hero who rewrites destiny. While some argue his victories are the result of plot armor, there's no denying his consistency as a powerhouse across every world he enters. His combination of skill, adaptability, and narrative resilience earn him a spot just below the reality-bending figures at the very top. At number 3, we enter the domain of system-level threats with Heathcliff, the avatar of Sword Art Online's creator, Kayaba Akihiko. As the mastermind behind the death game, Heathcliff held privileges and abilities that no ordinary player could match. His iconic shield and sword style made him nearly invincible, with defenses so strong that even Kirito struggled to break through. Heathcliff's true power wasn't just his stats, it was his knowledge. As the architect of the system, he understood every exploit, every weakness, and every hidden mechanic. This allowed him to manipulate battles with near-perfect efficiency. He deliberately limited himself to make the game fairer, but even then, he was a nightmare opponent. His duel against Kirito is one of the most iconic moments in the series. Despite his overwhelming advantages, Heathcliff recognized Kirito's potential, acknowledging him as a worthy opponent. This respect, combined with his godlike authority, made him both terrifying and strangely admirable. Heathcliff's placement at number 3 reflects the balance between his systemic power and his narrative role. While he was essentially unbeatable within SAO, later arcs introduced characters who surpassed even his god-tier defenses. Still, as the original, final boss of Sword Art Online, Heathcliff remains one of the franchise's most legendary figures. In second place is Quinella, the administrator of the Underworld and one of the most terrifying antagonists in SAO. Unlike Heathcliff, who merely built a game, Quinella rewrote the rules of her reality to serve herself. By mastering sacred arts and exploiting the cardinal system, she granted herself immortality, essentially becoming a goddess within the Underworld. Quinella's power was absolute. She controlled the Integrity Knights like puppets, bending their wills to ensure loyalty. Her mastery of sacred arts allowed her to annihilate opponents with spells of unimaginable scale, and her knowledge of the system made her virtually untouchable. She could even manipulate the laws of the Underworld itself, turning them into weapons against her enemies. Her battle against Kirito, Eugeo, and Alice showcased just how unstoppable she was. It took the combined strength and sacrifice of all three to finally bring her down. And even then, it wasn't a clean victory. Quinella's presence was so overwhelming that she shaped the Underworld's history and future long after her defeat. Quinella earns her spot at number 2 because she represents the ultimate expression of systemic control. She wasn't just playing within the rules, she was rewriting them. Her godlike authority, magical dominance, and psychological control make her one of the most powerful figures in Sword Art Online. Finally, at number 1, we have Gabriel Miller, also known as Subtilizer. Unlike Kayaba or Quinella, Gabriel wasn't a system administrator or world builder. Instead, his terrifying power came from his mind. A ruthless mercenary in the real world, Gabriel entered the Underworld and used his sheer willpower to dominate its mechanics, turning himself into something far beyond human. Subtilizer's abilities centered on psychological warfare. He could invade the minds of opponents, breaking their spirits before the battle even began. His incarnation of darkness allowed him to unleash powers that rivaled gods, making him the ultimate weapon in the War of Underworld. His duel with Kirito pushed the Black Swordsman to his absolute limits, requiring every ounce of willpower and determination to survive. What makes Gabriel the strongest isn't just his raw abilities, but his nature. He wasn't bound by morality or restraint. He was a predator, both inside and outside the virtual world. His presence represented pure terror, a darkness that consumed everything in its path. Gabriel Miller earns the top spot because he combined human cruelty, unmatched willpower, and system-breaking dominance without ever being an administrator. He was a warlord who redefined what it meant to be a threat in Sword Art Online, and his legacy as the deadliest opponent Kirito ever faced is undeniable. And there you have it. The 12 strongest Sword Art Online characters ranked and analyzed. From PoH's ruthless manipulation to Gabriel Miller's terrifying domination, each fighter brought something unique to the battlefield. Whether they fought with skill, magic, or sheer will power, these characters shaped SAO's story forever. Who's your favorite, and would you rank them differently?